Are you looking for the best gaming monitors? In this video we will look at some of the best gaming monitors. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 5. Samsung Odyssey OLED G8/G80 SDS32D G80. The best gaming monitor we've tested is the Samsung Odyssey OLED G8/G80 SDS32D G80. It's a premium 4K, 240Hz monitor with a QD-OLED panel. It provides both outstanding picture quality and fantastic gaming performance. Motion looks extremely clear thanks to its near-instantaneous response time, so there's almost no blur behind fast-moving objects. It also supports HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to take full advantage of modern graphics cards in gaming consoles. Its QD-OLED panel delivers perfect blacks in dark rooms without any blooming around bright objects. It also gets bright enough for small highlights to pop, and colors are vivid. While it doesn't get bright enough to fight a ton of glare in a well-lit room, it has a matte screen coating with fantastic reflection handling, so there aren't any distracting mirror-like reflections. That said, if you aren't a fan of matte coatings, the MSA-MPG321URX QD-OLED is a great alternative with a glossy coating, so images are clearer. It also has a 4K, 240Hz QD-OLED panel, but it's harder to find than the Samsung. That said, it's worth getting when you can find it available for less than the Samsung. Number 4. MSA-MPG271QRX QD-OLED. If you don't need a premium option with a high 4K resolution like the Samsung Odyssey OLED G8/G80 SDS32D G80, check out the less expensive MSA-MPG271QRX QD-OLED instead. With a lower 1440p resolution, images aren't as detailed, but it has a higher refresh rate instead. It has a glossy screen coating, so images are clearer, but it's best to avoid placing it opposite a bright window, as it has mirror-like reflections and deep blacks look slightly purple. However, if you game in the dark, it's a fantastic choice, as it displays deep and inky blacks with vivid colors. Besides that, it delivers the same outstanding gaming experience as the Samsung with a near-instantaneous response time for incredibly sharp motion. It also has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to take full advantage of HDMI 2.1 graphics cards in gaming consoles. Its 360Hz refresh rate is also ideal for competitive gaming. If you don't need such a high refresh rate, there are some 240Hz OLED monitors you can get for a bit cheaper, like the Acer ROG Strix OLED X-G2724D. However, its colors aren't vivid, so the MSI still offers the best performance in this price range. Number 3. Acer Nitro 15275K P3 BiPros. Exceptional gaming prowess and multitasking capabilities. If you don't need an OLED's high-end performance or prefer saving money, check out a mid-range option like the Acer Nitro 15275K P3 BiPros, which is worth getting when it's on sale. There are a few trade-offs, as it doesn't deliver the same deep blacks or have a near-instantaneous response time like the MSA-MPG271QRX QD-OLED. It also has a lower 160Hz refresh rate, which is still good for most gamers, and it has a higher 4K resolution for sharper images. Luckily, it's a versatile gaming monitor that has good motion handling across its VRR range, so there isn't too much blur with fast-moving objects. On top of its gaming perks, it has good picture quality whether you're gaming in SDR or HDR. It has a decent mini LED local dimming feature that helps it display deep blacks next to bright highlights, and it also gets bright enough to make highlights pop. There are some downsides, though, as it has increased input lag with fixed 60Hz signals, which is disappointing for playing reaction-based games. However, you can avoid this issue if you start gaming at a higher refresh rate and use VRR to go down to a lower refresh rate. Number 2. AOC Q27G3 XMN. As you get into budget monitors, you get fewer features than high-end models, but there are some that still offer both good gaming performance and picture quality. That's the case with the AOC Q27G3 XMN, which has mini LED backlighting like the Acer Nitro 15275K P3 BiPros and is one of the few lower-cost monitors to have it. Combining its high native contrast with its good local dimming, it displays deep blacks next to bright highlights, and there isn't too much blooming, either. It also gets very bright in HDR, so highlights pop against the rest of the image. However, there are a few trade-offs versus the Acer, as it has a lower 1440p resolution, so images aren't as detailed. While it has a fast response time without much blur behind fast-moving objects, it has some black smearing, which is one of the downsides of its VA panel. One thing to know is that it can go out of stock sometimes, so if you can't find it available, the Acer Nitro 15275UP3 bikes is another great low-cost option with mini LED backlighting. However, it has worse motion handling than the AOC. Number 1. Dell G2724D. If you want a simple and cheap gaming monitor, check out the Dell G2724D, which you can often find for a low cost directly from Dell's website. It has similar specs to the AOC Q27G3XMN, as it also has a 27-inch, 1440p screen. However, it doesn't have mini LED backlighting, so it has much worse picture quality as blacks look gray in dark rooms, which is the trade-off for getting something cheaper. Luckily, it still offers good value as a pure gaming monitor because motion looks sharp, and it doesn't have black smearing like on the AOC. Besides that, its 165Hz refresh rate is ideal for most gamers, especially if you have an entry-level gaming setup that can't take advantage of higher refresh rates. However, there are a few entry-level 240Hz monitors you can get if you prefer a higher refresh rate, like the ViewSonic XG2431. That said, it has a lower 1080p resolution, so at least the Dell offers both detailed enough images and a smooth gaming feel.